Hey kids, I'm back and nuts enough to risk yet another assessment for haha funny internet points. This is the point, I've really got to stop doing this. So I got to do an art assessment on, and I quote, "The conceptual framework is the basis of the investigation with all agencies in the art world explored to varying degrees using the frames." Now that's good and all, but because the assessment didn't inflict enough pain already, they decided to make it so that we had to look at Australian artists, because we always have to look at Australia. I'll be looking at Peter Sharp today, who, for comedic effect, I will not be calling Peter Sharp at all. Rather, I'll be calling him Peter Not Blunt, Peter Cutting, Peter Anything But Sharp. Laugh!
So, what are the conceptual frames?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Timmy, and you better keep your goddamn mouth shut or I'll beat you. Laugh! Conceptual frames is an umbrella term for artist, artwork, audience, and world. Essentially, who made it, how it was made, who is looking at it, and in what society and time frame it was made. Now, to understand the artwork, we gotta understand the artist. So, who is Peter Pointy? Why is he an artist? What does he do? Why do I do the things I do? Well, first of all, he is an Australian artist. I know we've already hit rock bottom, but at least we can't get any worse. Now, I have no idea why, but I've scoured the internet far and wide for exactly 5 minutes 32 seconds, and not a single website I visited gave me an exact date for when Peter Pointy was born. He was born 1964, I just don't have a date. However, what Wikipedia, the free online encyclopedia, has told me is that he did graduate with an arts education degree and a postgraduate diploma in painting in 1987 at the Sydney College of Advanced Education. And as if he wasn't compensating enough, he got a master's degree in fine arts at the University of New South Wales. So he's an educated and talented man. Now, how does Mr. Needlelike make his work? Well, unfortunately for me, Peter has two styles of artwork: tonal drawings and oil paintings. Now, so I can be lazy, broaden my outlook, I will be looking at both styles in a general sense. Firstly, his tonal drawings. He makes these by putting together sculptures of various making material, all random objects, into the sunlight, where he'll proceed to draw the object itself, the shadow it produces, or both. However, he doesn't do a literal translation, rather takes a more impressionist, abstract approach to it. These are done with charcoal on paper. As for his paintings, he will typically use oil and acrylics on laminated linen panels. Now, what he depicts in his paintings will either be an abstract landscape or a development of his tonal drawings he had previously done, of which his tonal drawings tend to be a lot more abstract and harder to interpret thanks to the use of colour. Now being no longer limited to black and white, different segments of the same object or different size of the same object will be different colours, meaning it's a lot more abstract and a lot more fluid, a lot more poetic, if you understand me. Now we've got to cover the audience. What do they have to say? The buffoons, the fools, the bozos who try to really understand his awe of power. Well, Peter experiences almost universal love and appraisement by art critics all across Australia due to his unique interpretation of the natural world around him. His works are more metaphorical, rhetorical and theoretical and poetic interpretations of the world around him, rather than being just a straight up literal translation of what he sees. And speaking about world, that is a great transition I just accidentally did into our next topic, the world he made his work in. So in what context did he make his works in? Well, he made his works in the context of the last 30 years. So what did happen in the last 30 years? Well... existentialism aside, you can say he made his work in a pretty dynamic time. In conclusion, God is dead, we killed him, humanity is dying, and Peter made some pretty good artworks.